It cracks me up. The Behringer 1273. The funny thing is that obviously it's a 1073 emulation, right? But it kind of actually looks more like it's a Warm Audio 273 or whatever their model is. They're going right after Warm, and it makes me laugh. The snake is eating itself in a way. To me, it kind of reinforces the idea that Warm, at this point, your box looks more like the Behringer box than it does like the 12 or the 1073, you know? And so they ripped off the ripoff, which I love. Yes, the Warm stuff is going to have better components and it's probably built better, although you don't know. My Clark Technic stuff is, I've had, I think 5 or 6 of those 2As that I've owned and been inside of and out of. I currently own 3 of them, and I mean, I couldn't, you take the lid off, you can't tell one from the other unless there's a different tube, you know. So the consistency of the manufacturer is pretty good at this point. And sure, it's Behringer. Is it gonna the knobs and switches are gonna be budget style. Everybody else is doing their knockoff knobs, right? They might use better pots, which does make a difference over time, and it can make a difference if your gain is all bunched in one place or whatever. But when you buy the Warm, you're not actually getting a Neve. The interesting question I have is not how close does the Behringer sound to a real 1073, it's how close does the Behringer sound to the Warm 273, because it really looks like they were not ripping off. Behringer is kind of not emulating the big boy. They're emulating Warm. They're coming after Warm. You can see it, you know, and they're going to get those people who can't quite afford to pay Warm for their dress up. If I'm Warm, I'm probably pretty nervous right now. I think it's definitely going to take some market share. I think they're after the same people. One other thing I want to just like observe. I want to comment on it. You know, this isn't an opinion. I think it's reality. The same professional guy that makes his living making recording that isn't ever going to buy or use the Behringer is also never going to buy and use the Warm 273. Maybe they'll take a paycheck and do a promotional video, but when you're in their studios, they're not using the Warm. They don't have the Warm. And you can even find some pretty well-known YouTube guys who were all about Warm, and something new came along and Warm just went out the window. And I'm not against Warm. God, you know how cheap these are going to be after, give it a couple of months and people buy them and they start to really move and you're going to get sales and people who, you know, start to sell them on the used market. You're probably going to get a Neve emulated hardware channel with real transformers and blah, blah, blah. Probably going to be $200, $250 a channel, probably, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, interesting times, fun times. Can't wait to see what happens. Hope I could get my hands on one of them. I just don't see myself dropping money at this point on one just to make a video. Like, I got other stuff I want and need. But let's pay attention and let's see how many people, let's see the angle that Sweetwater and the other retailers market the Behringer versus the Warm. And, you know, it's going to be fun to watch from that point of view. And it's going to be fun to see how good does this Behringer sound. It's not the hammer, it's the dingus swinging it.